Hello and welcome once again to The Old Man Speaks. I'm Joshua. I come to you 3 times a week and talk to you for 5 minutes. Well, it's late at night. I usually don't do these things late at night, so let's see what happens. Good evening. My name is Peter, and I got a story for you. So I grew up in this small town called Centerville. And as I was growing up, there was always this guy around Main Street they called Billybob. Most people would say he was the village idiot, or he was the town drunk, or he was just some homeless migrant guy. But he was friendly enough. I was scared of him when I was real young, but as I grew up, I realized he had some issues and he was harmless enough. So I went off to college and I come back and I'm working there at the table in the little eatery. And every morning, Billy Bob comes in, and Scott says, "Wait a minute there, Billy Bob, I'll get you some stuff." And he brings him a nice paper bag full of food for the day. I'm really frustrated this morning because I can't get this math problem. I'm in this difficult class in college, and I'm just getting the answers wrong. Billy Bob's standing there. He looks over. He says, "You have to subtract the negative exponent in the denominator, man. So let me show you. You add it instead." And I'm looking, and I realize he's 100% right. I said, "Billy Bob, how do you know that?" He said, "Oh, I was a really smart guy. Some days, once in a while, I still am smart, but I got this brain thing, and they don't know how to cure it." Oh, he took his food and said thank you, and he walked out. And I thought to myself, who is Billy Bob, really? Now, this one is actually a totally true story, but I've changed all the names because it was told to me in confidence by Mr. King. Now, Mr. King is a contractor who brings products to stores. There was this big store. It was owned by Schmendrick and Kendrick. Schmendrick was a very nice, soft-spoken fellow. He's the kind of guy you want to deal with. And if people had the choice, they would deal with Schmendrick, not Kendrick, because Kendrick was a bear. He would yell at you and snap at you, and he was unpleasant to be around, unless you really knew him. My friend Mr. King knew him quite well, and when he was away from the public, he was quite a different person. One day, Mr. King is sitting in Kendrick's office. Now, Kendrick's office is right next to one of the checkout clerks. And he's overhearing this conversation, Mr. King is, between the clerk and an elderly immigrant couple. The clerk says to the elderly immigrant couple, "Why do you keep coming every day? It's obviously very difficult for you to come here. You have a walker, you have a cane. If you just bought a couple of things, you could save yourself a trip or two." And the elderly man says, "We don't have a refrigerator. In the apartments we have, they don't provide a refrigerator, and we cannot afford one. So we can get canned goods and stuff, but if we get milk or produce or anything that needs to be refrigerated, we just get enough for that meal. And that way we don't have to worry about the refrigerator." Oh, I see. And they walk out. Kendrick comes by. "Who are those people?" And he says, "Well, I know them. They're Mr. and Mrs. Lubinsky, we'll say." "Lubinsky, where do they live?" "Oh, they live down at the Center Apartments." He says, "Okay." He goes back into his office, dials up a phone number. "Yeah, it's Kendrick. I want you to make a delivery tomorrow, but nobody should know where this delivery is coming from. Tip the drivers $100 each. But they are to say that they don't know who ordered this refrigerator, but they have the order. They're Mr. and Mrs. Lubinsky. It's their refrigerator. They don't know who ordered it, but they're delivering it because it's their job. Also, give the customer Lubinsky $200 rebate." And then he hangs up the phone, and they'll take care of that tomorrow, he said. So Mr. King looks at Kendrick. He says, Mr. Kendrick, you're a very nice man. Why do you put on this ugly facade with the people out here, with the people in the general public? He said, oh, if I let my guard down and I let people think that I'm a nice guy, they'll walk all over me. Until next time, have a wonderful week. See ya.